I've been using this laptop non-stop for the last 6 months, and I'm sure you've heard, or probably some of you are already interested on this laptop, which is the Macbook Air M1. So in this video, we'll dive deep into what has changed and answer some important questions like, is the performance still good after all this time, and is it still worth buying this late 2024? So without further ado, let's start. I'm Hermes, and this is my Macbook Air M1 6 months review. If you're gonna look at my MacBook Air M1 on my perspective, not much of a change if we're gonna talk about its physicalities and some of its functionalities. There's no scratches, keyboard are still working fine, there's no screen or display issues. Actually, there is a small problem, but I'm not sure if I should tag it as an issue, but we'll talk about that in a bit. But yeah, despite being overused every day, just like the speakers always on full volume, still working loud up to this day. There's no any serious problems, but there are still some changes and good things that you should know on my experience for the last few months. The battery life had been sweet for the last 6 months. I'm still amazed by its 6 to 8 hours of battery life when doing heavy tasks such as editing. And on its general use with some idle throughout the day, it still lasts around 12 to 16 hours that requires me to charge it only once per day on that scenario. So after 6 months, it's still somewhat the same. I don't have any complaints even though it surely had some battery cycles accumulated already as I often use it outdoors or remotely. And coming from a gaming Windows laptop with only few hours, this is definitely an upgrade on some aspects like productivity. So for now, there's really no noticeable changes on the battery life of this laptop. But there are a few ups and downs on performance, but on a different specific exact categories. Example, something related to display that I mentioned earlier. Using an external monitor was not perfect at all. There are some times that the MacBook Air M1's display won't project on my external monitor. I have to replug the HDMI again to make it work, and sometimes I had to do it twice. Yes, you might think that maybe it's the external monitor's fault or probably the hub that I've been using. No, all of them are just working fine with my other devices. So it could be, the common Apple compatibility restriction thing. There's also been a small boost on performance, but not because of any technicalities, but because of a new decision that I finally made after 6 months of using this laptop. Lately, I've been using Safari way more often as I noticed that it's better than Google Chrome in terms of performance and some aspects on this specific laptop. It has less RAM usage, which you should consider if you're also like me that has a lot of browser tabs opened, whether you're researching or just browsing. The Google Chrome is fine, but when combined with heavy apps, it would definitely trigger the swap memory on this laptop. I mean, don't get me wrong, Google Chrome was never an issue, and even though this MacBook Air M1 is the base variant, 8GB unified memory, it's still insanely fast for a laptop on this price range, and it's still on the top of the line. But I just wish that Chrome would work better as it's my preference. But I know that Safari does exist, I was just ignoring it all this time. So it's not a big deal, and in the first place, it was clearly specified and proven before that Safari is better to use on Apple products. There's also some slight slower decreased performance, or perhaps I was overusing its capabilities. Example, there's been a few times that I encountered weird bugs or probably decreased performance when editing on this laptop, specifically when I'm using Adobe Premiere Pro, which is decently working with MacBook Air M1 even though macOS has way more compatibility restriction compared to Windows. Maybe I'm not used into encountering this kind of problems on this Adobe Premiere Pro plus MacBook Air M1 setup, even though I used Premiere Pro before on this gaming Windows laptop. Or probably because I've been using Final Cut Pro before on this MacBook Air M1, which is the exclusive video editing software on macOS, and I haven't experienced that much problem because it's been extremely optimized and faster than Adobe Premiere Pro situationally on this MacBook Air M1 despite lacking some modern features. But again, the general performance of this MacBook Air M1 is extremely fast. But on this topic, the problem could be the Adobe Premiere Pro itself or the given compatibility restriction of macOS or MacBook Air M1. We all know that it's not much decently supported as Windows on different apps, or probably it was just software engineered to just work flawlessly good with its own ecosystem, and Final Cut Pro that I haven't had any serious performance issues before is part of that. One more change as well is related to quality of life on using this laptop. So basically, before, readjusting tabs, browsers, panels was quite hard on this laptop as I often use 2 apps or more on the same desktop screen. I always find myself readjusting things to a specific area or exact space with specific dimensions on home screen for times when I'm multitasking. The problem was there before, and some Apple users know this. Some of the options given before are using multi-screen setups, different home screen for apps, manually adjusting it, and trackpad gestures. But right now, with macOS Sequoia update, it's been the highlight for me. They introduced a long overdue feature, which is the window tiling that lets you automatically assign an app to that exact area. You can also easily fill and arrange on the exact specific area you want for your apps, which would save you a lot of time instead of placing it one by one and carefully adjusting the borders on exact length and width. This kind of feature had been on Windows for quite some time already, and it just arrived on macOS this year. Again, it's long overdue, and I guess we'll just have to take it. Now, the most important change that this laptop had gone through that you could be interested is pricing. Before, this MacBook Air M1 was priced ranging from 900 to 1000 US dollars, which was around early quarter of this year. To be exact, I paid 920 US dollars for this brand new silver variant that you are seeing right now. But this is the most shocking price drop that I've seen, especially considering the value that it would give you. This is definitely a must buy. Around October 2024, I've seen it priced on 670 US dollars for a brand new. It could be different on your country or exact specific shops you're looking at, but I'm sure it's going to be similar. MacBook Air M1, 8GB unified memory, 256 gigs of storage. The reason for this might be because of the newer M3 models or the discontinuity of this laptop, which happened earlier this year as well. So if you're planning to get this might be a good chance because sooner or later, M2 chips would be your only base variant choice. Yeah, M2 MacBook Airs are also getting cheaper, that's right. They are closely getting into 1000 US dollar zone, but that's not a reason to opt out for that. The performance difference between M1 and M2 is not that different. There might be some newer features on M2 laptops, but it's not going to be a deal closer. And with MacBook Air M1 getting significantly cheaper at this point, this just solidifies the supreme value of this laptop. I might not have mentioned things that might directly connect to the exact reason why you're looking at this laptop or why you're watching this long-term review about this MacBook Air M1. So I'm just gonna do an overall roundup about this laptop. MacBook Air M1 is something that is really valuable. If you're eyeing on this laptop, that's exactly a right decision. You can't go wrong with this. Price-wise as well, as I said earlier, it's a lot cheaper and this might be one of your few last chances to get a good deal like this as it's probably off the shelf in the coming months. Remember that the processor inside this laptop, which is the M1, is one of the historic changes that happened on tech industry. It was actually a breakthrough. The performance as well makes it worth it to buy. Again, you can't go wrong with this. Yes, you might sacrifice some things like dedicated gaming. But assuming that most of you has a creative or productivity related reason to get this, which should be the case, or maybe you're just looking for a laptop for your personal or work related stuff, this is what I would really recommend. Sure, you can go for latest Apple Silicon chips M2 and M3, but ask yourself first if you really need the powerhouse of those processors. Because I'm telling you, the M1 chip is still somewhat out of time. It feels like MacBook Air M1 was released earlier than it's supposed to be. Just one of the examples is the battery life. If you'll compare it with other laptops, it definitely has a significant difference and way more efficient. Those are just some of the things that makes it stand out. And after 6 months with MacBook Air M1, the fire is still burning. So I hope this video gave you the needed information that you're curious about on this laptop. If it did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe as well. It would really help me a lot. And again, I'm Hermes. Thanks for watching and catch you guys on the next one.